I'm Nani, welcome to my channel. This is the first long form thing that I've ever made, so sorry if it's like really bad. Yeah, I'm gonna show you the way I make these mugs, all like the steps and everything that goes into making them. These are for a upcoming market that I'm participating in June 1st, which is this Sunday, which is like, feels really scary, but it's okay. Hopefully my stuff turns out good. It's in the kiln for the final firing as of right now, but yeah, you will see that later. But yeah, in the meantime, let's make these mugs. Okay, so first I started off by wedging my clay until there was no air bubbles and cut it in half to see if there are any, and if there's not, I just smashed the two pieces together and just wedge some more. Next, I'm smashing out the clay with my rolling pin and then like turning it over so each side is just flattened evenly. I feel like this is so much easier than doing like the slab roller machine where you have to turn it. Like this way is just so much faster and it just, I don't know, I like it more. This was my first time using like a wear board and my clay was just a little bit too wet, so it kept getting stuck. I had to learn the hard way that there's like a certain wetness that your clay needs to be at if you want to use the wear board. And then I ended up switching out these thickness rulers because they were just way too thick for my liking. Here's my favorite part, which is cutting the clay. It's so satisfying. Oh my gosh, I'm obsessed. So first I measure everything and make sure everything is even as possible. Because I'm making multiples, I want to write down the measurement, or at least like keep it in my head so you know everything is as consistent as I can make it, or as consistent as it can be. I double check everything before I cut because sometimes I miss an eighth or like a fourth of an inch and it's just totally off, and one mug is just way bigger than the other. After cutting down to the size that I wanted, I'm smoothing everything out so there are no seams. So I do this by scoring the pieces I cut, and since my clay is like super wet, I just add water instead of slip. If my clay was drier, I would use slip. Just smoothing everything out. This is one thing that I struggle with a lot, but I learned from my professor that sometimes like scoring a really big piece and then just smoothing it out instead of like a tiny little sliver is a little bit easier. So then I rolled out another piece for the bottom of the cup, and I'm doing the same thing with the scoring and the blending of the seams for the bottom. I really like using a paintbrush to help smooth everything. It makes reaching those like really tight areas so much easier, so definitely use a paintbrush. Now it's the scary part where it's cutting out the bottom and then smoothing out all of those seams. I swear half of this thing is just blending seams. Now is the fun part, which is the cookie cutters. So I use a cookie cutter set for stamping like my signature on the bottom of all my ceramic pieces. I feel like so professional when I do this. Except when I can't open this tin. I swear I've had this for I don't even know how long, like months, and I cannot open it on the first try. It's always a struggle to get this thing to open. Jump scare, sorry. But yeah, that's how I stamp it at the bottom of my mug. And then doing this at this angle was so uncomfortable. I wanted to make sure that you could see what I was doing, but then also making sure that it was actually going into the bottom like evenly. Honestly, this next part is kind of boring. I'm just cutting out just all the little stars that go like on the side and that's smoothing them out. I don't know if it's just the like material of like the cookie cutter or my clay is just again like super wet, but getting these out of the cookie cutter is just so hard. I'm like shoving my finger or like a paintbrush in there. I can't push too hard or else I'm gonna leave dents or just the star is gonna have like a giant hole in the middle. Going slow to get these out is definitely key. I had to smooth out each one because I left nail marks all over them because I'm like trying to push them out, but it's just, I think it's just because the clay is just too wet, so it's like stuck in there. Investing in a cookie cutter set is something I wish I did earlier. Like, are you kidding? These shapes are so cute. You could do so much with these. For the handle, I'm just rolling out a really long, thin piece of clay. I usually try to get it as long as I can. ignore me blowing my stool. This room is so dusty. Every time I roll something out, I step on this part of the stool because these tables are way too tall for me. Being up high gives you so much more leverage, so I can lean over it more. Oh, I forgot to mention, I switched from using the wear board to the canvas fabric because this clay was just too wet and it was getting stuck on the wear board, and like every time I would try to lift it, it would just rip. The only annoying thing about using this canvas is that you have to smooth it out. Then I just measure out the handles and then just cut it out the same way. I feel like the most stressful part about making these mugs is the handles. Like anything that's curved in ceramics is just, oh my god, it's a struggle. So I'm shaping them really slowly and just adding a ton of water to smooth out any cracks or wrinkles that appear, and it's natural for that to happen in clay because you're bending it, so it's gonna happen at some point. Just adding like a ton of water helps smooth out the process a little bit more. Water is my best friend when I'm making these handles or anything that's curved. Attaching the handle is another stressful thing. I feel like every time I do it, it's different. I need to figure out the exact length that I would use, because for these, again, I just kind of eyeballed it, so do not recommend. I recommend that you measure everything out if you want like a consistent piece. Yeah, the whole process of doing the handles is just scoring and smoothing and water, just a ton of water everywhere so nothing dries too quickly or cracks just continue to spread. I score everything that's going to be attached, and then I grab small bits of clay and add them onto the handle to fully adhere the handle to the body of the mug. And then attaching the stars is pretty much the same, just a little bit less pressure because the stars are flat, so I don't have to bend anything. It's just scoring and adding water and then just attaching and smoothing it out. Here's everything I made before the bisque. I can't believe I made so many mugs, that's like insane. Here's everything after the firing. I don't know if I said at the beginning, but I got commissioned to do some mugs. So I put the sketch of the design here so you could see what I'm doing or my reference to what I'm painting. These are so cute. It's just underglaze for these, and I'm putting like a ton of coats. So I did a test of these underglazes. They are so translucent, so I was like, okay, I bought these, so I have to use them. 3 coats turned into like 10, so I could get an opaque color. And for these, I just coat them with a clear paint on glaze. All my other mugs were like dip glazes, so I wax the bottom, dip it in the glaze. So I'm wiping all like the big chunks of the glaze off. This is probably the step that I hate the most in ceramics. I'm just so impatient. Here are all the cups that I glazed. Off to the kiln for the glaze firing. Here they are after the glaze firing. Oh my god, so cute. Hey, thank you so much if you made it to the end of this video. You are a trooper. Here's a gold star for you. Like I said before, this is my first time making anything long form, so I'm so sorry if it's like just horrible. But if you made it to the end, thank you so much. It means everything to me. You have no idea. Little update. The market went super well. It was like a smaller crowd, but honestly, that's no complaints. No complaints. I made back the money that I paid for the table, so low-key, that's like the only goal I have when I go to Marcus, is just to make back the money that I spent on the table. If you're interested in any of the items that were in this video, there's a link in the description to my Etsy shop. I'll also put it on the screen in case that's easier. Yeah, so you can take a little sneak peek at that. And if you do choose to purchase anything, thank you so much. That means the world to me. I'm just starting my small business, and it's been very slow balancing that business and then also being a student. So yeah, if you choose to purchase anything, thank you so much. I very much appreciate it. And yeah, once again, thank you so much for watching this video.
It means everything to me. I'm trying out this YouTube and small business thing. It's something I've been wanting to do for a while, and now I am finally doing that. So thank you for supporting me in my little dream. Anyways, I'll catch you later. Bye.